back to my channel Study My Body. Today we are going to do the B part of circulatory system. For A part I have given the link in the description box. In A part I have covered with you the composition of blood and the blood clotting. In this part I am going to do with you the blood transfusion and the structure of the heart. So we'll start with the blood grouping. So sometimes it becomes necessary to inject blood into the body of the patients undergoing surgical operations. This is known as blood transfusion. So blood is taken from a healthy person. That person is known as the donor, and then it is transfused into the blood into the patient's vein. That is the receiving person, called as recipient. So here you can see that blood group A, blood group B, blood group AB and group O. For A, we have antigen A, B upon its body, and for B we have anti-A. For group AB we have none of the antibodies. For group O we have both the anti-A and anti-B. And for the group A we have antigen A, for group B we have antigen B, and for group AB we have both the antigens, and O group has no antigen upon its body. So there are several systems of blood grouping, but the two of them, ABO system and RH system, are the most important. In ABO system, according to this, the human blood is classified into four types: A, AB, AB and O. Besides the transfusion of one's own person blood, that is A to A, AB to AB, B to B and O to O, etc., the other possible transfusions can be made as follows. So we have accordingly O type blood can be given to persons of all the types of blood, that is to O, B, A and AB. Hence a person with O type is known as universal donor, and a person with AB type of blood can receive blood from all types, that is from AB, A, B and O, and is therefore called the universal recipient. And a person with A type blood can receive blood from A and O types, and a person with B type from B and O types only. Now we can see that in the RH system, the blood of most people contains a substance called the RH factor. RH stands for rhesus, and when a blood of such an individual is transfused into a person lacking it, the blood of the recipient develops an antibody of RH substance within about 2 weeks of transfusion. Now if a second transfusion be given to such a RH negative person, the antibody produced by the first transfusion cause a reaction with the transfused blood, which may even lead to death. Now RH factor in pregnancy. An RH negative woman may become sensitive if she carries an RH positive child in her uterus. That is when the husband is RH positive. The first RH positive child will be normal, but if it sensitizes the mother, the second positive child, if conceived soon, may have a problem, sometimes leading to the death of the fetus and abortion. So RH positive may be written as RH plus VE, and the RH negative may be written as RH minus EVE. So people with RH positive blood have D antigen on the surface of the RBCs, while people with RH negative blood group lack these antigens. Then we have is the heart. The heart is not on the left side, but it is felt so. It is a right in the center between the two lungs above the diaphragm. The narrow end of its roughly triangular heart is pointed to the left side, and during working, the contraction of the heart is most powerful at this end, giving a feeling that heart is on the left side. Now, the heart in an adult human is about the size of a closed wrist, that is about 12 centimeter in length and 9 centimeter in width. It is protected by a double-walled membranous covering called the pericardium. It contains lubricating pericardial fluid which reduces friction during heartbeat and protects it from the mechanical injuries. Here you can see the structure of the heart. So then we have is the chambers of the heart. The heart consists of four chambers: the upper two arteria and the lower ventricles. The arteria, also known as auricles, have thinner walls because their major function is to receive blood from the body and pump it into every very next ventricles. The ventricles have thick muscular walls because they have to pump blood to long distances. The right ventricle pumps blood only up to the lungs for the oxygenation, but the left ventricle pumps it to the farthest point in the body, such as up to the toes in the feet and up to the brain, etc., against the gravity also, so its walls are made thicker. Then are these coordinate tendinae, here you can see, and the papillary muscles. Now, what is their function is that they hold the flaps of the valves in position and prevent their overturning into arteria. Okay. Now we have the heart valves. So there are four valves in the heart as follows. Right atrioventricle valve is located up at the aperture between the right auricle and the right ventricle. It has three thin triangular leaf-like flaps that are called cusps and is therefore known as the tricuspid valve. The apices of the flaps are held in position by the tendinous cords known as coordinate tendinae arising from the muscular projections of the ventricle walls known as papillary muscles. Now we have the left atrioventricle valve. It is located in a similar way on the left side of the heart. It has two cusps and is therefore known as the bicuspid, also the mitral valve. Then is the pulmonary semilunar valve. These are located on the opening of the right ventricle into the pulmonary artery. These are pocket shaped and three in number, but they are not tricuspid, just their structure is similar to that. Now is the aortic semilunar valve. As the name suggests, it is located at the point of origin of the aorta from the left ventricle. These are also three in number and pocket shaped. Then we have is a heart attack. A heart attack is the death of a segment of a heart muscle caused by the loss of blood supply, and the blood is usually cut off when an artery supplying the blood muscle is blocked by a blood clot, or if some of the heart muscle dies, or a person experiencing a chest pain and electrical instability of the heart muscle tissue. Then is the heart sounds. If you hear your heart sound by placing a stethoscope on your chest, you will hear two sounds, lub and dub. Now the first sound, lub, is produced when the arterioventricular, that is tricuspid and bicuspid valves get closed sharply at the start of the ventricular systole. Now, what is this ventricular systole? That is at the end of the ventricular systoles, the ventricle starts relaxing. That is ventricular diastole, and in the systole, we have its contraction phase. Now, they get closed sharply at the start of this ventricle systole, and in the second sound, dub, is produced when at the beginning of the ventricular diastole. The semilunar walls at the roots of the aorta and the pulmonary artery gets closed at this time. Here also you can see that at the arterial systole and the ventricle systole, we have the first heart sound, that is lub, that is at the closure of the arterioventricular valves, that is tricuspid and the bicuspids. And in the second heart sound, that is dub, the at the time of the ventricular systole and the ventricular diastole, we have the closure of the semilunar valves. Then comes a cardiac cycle. In this, we see that various valves get closed and open at a different times. For that, we have that the systole of the arterias are about 0.15 second and systole of ventricles take about 0.30 seconds, and all the chambers in relaxed state is for 0.40 cycle. Now this whole sequence of the events in the heartbeat is called as the cardiac cycle. Now we have a very important topic, that is the electrical conduction system of the heart. Yes, there is a impulse of command which starts the heartbeat. This arises in a pacemaker, that is sinoarterial node, also known as SAN, SAN. located in the walls of the right auricle. Now this impulse is relayed to the ventricles with the help of a special conducting fibers. The pacemaker is present near the opening of the superior vena cava, and when AVN, that is arterioventricular node, is found near the interauricular septum near the tricuspid valve. Now there is a bundle of muscles called the bundle of His, begins from AVN and extends to the interventricular septum. Now bundle of His consists of branches of fibers running along the wall of the ventricle. They are known as Purkinje fibers. All this together form a system which creates an impulse and conducts it to every part of the heart. Here you can clearly see the sinoarterial valve and the bundle of His and then the Purkinje fibers. Then is this artificial pacemaker. Now sometimes the pacemaker becomes faulty, causing heart trouble. Then an artificial pacemaker may be fixed in the heart of such a person. Here also you can see that the artificial pacemaker has been implanted over here. Now this pacemaker implantation usually occur in those people who lead a very stressful life. Now we have this different walls, blood vessels and an artery. Here you can see that is the A diagram, that it is a vessel which carries blood away from the heart and towards any organs. Now you can see that it has a thick muscular walls as compared to the of the vein, that is B. It has a narrow lumen and the blood in it flows in spurts which correspond to the ventricular contraction of the heart. Now the B is the vein. Here you can see that it has thin muscular walls and a wider lumen, and the blood in it flows uniformly. In that we have talked in artery, it moves with the pressure, and here it's very flows very uniformly and easily. Now it contains thin pocket shaped valves whose openings face in the direction of the heart. Now these valves prevent the backflow of the blood, and the smallest branch of an artery is called the arteriole, and they are very highly muscular. Now we have is the capillary. Here C diagram is the capillary. It is a very narrow tube, about 8 micrometers in diameter. Now what are its characteristics? That its wall consists of single layer of squamous epithelial cell, that is endothelium, and it has no muscles. The total number of blood capillaries present in the whole body is almost unconceivable. So next we are having is the lymphatic vessels. So these also you can see that contains valves to prevent the backflow of the WBCs contained in it. Then we have two types of circulations in our body. The first part is pulmonary and then is systemic. Now in a pulmonary circulation, it pertains to the lungs only. It starts in the pulmonary artery arising from the right ventricle, which soon divides into two branches that enters the respective lungs. Now pulmonary veins collect the oxygenated blood from the lungs and carry it back to the left auricle of the heart. Then we have is the systemic circulations. Now this pertains to the major circulations in the body, that is from the heart to the body. But in the pulmonary we have from the heart to the lungs and back to the heart only. In systemics it pertains to the major circulations in the body. It starts with the aorta that arises from the left ventricle, and this aorta arches back and continues behind the dorsal aorta. Now aorta sends arteries to various body parts and their tissues. From there the blood is collected by the veins and poured back into the heart. Here also you can see that both the systems are shown to you. The first one is the pulmonary circulation only, that is from the heart to the lungs and back to the heart via pulmonary artery and the pulmonary vein. And in the systemic we have from the heart to the various body parts via aorta and back from the various organs via vena cava in the heart. Now we have, you can see this proper structure for all the veins, and this was for the all the arteries, and this is of all the veins. Then we have the hepatic portal system. So in this the veins starting from the stomach and intestines do not directly convey the blood to the posterior vena cava. Instead, they first enter the liver as a combined hepatic portal vein, and there it breaks up into capillaries in contrast to the general characteristic of the vein into a new vein called the hepatic vein is formed by their reunion, which joins the posterior vena cava. Now here we can say that a portal vein is one which starts with the capillary and also ends in the capillaries. Now here also you can see that this part is given to you as hepatic portal vein. You can see that it starts also with the capillaries and ends also in capillaries only. Now is the lymphatic system. In this we have that the some of the tissue fluid may be reabsorbed into the body vessels, but most of it enters another set only in a minute channels. They are named as lymph vessels, where it is called lymph. Now the main lymph vessels are the spleen and the tonsils, and this again is beneficial effect to the of the physical exercise, that it lymph flows in various vessels due to contraction of the surrounding muscles only. In the diagram you can see that the circular bodies are there. Now what are these are the lymph nodes. The lymph vessels on the way drain lymph into these nodes, from where fresh lymph channel arise and ultimately pour the lymph into major anterior veins close to the entry into the right auricle. Now, what is the composition of the lymph? Its cellular part consists of only leukocytes, that is WBCs. There are no RBCs and blood platelets. And in the non-cellular part, we have water, that is 94%, and solid part, which consists of proteins, fats, carbohydrates, enzymes, and antibodies, etc., about 6%. Then we have is the function of the lymph. First is nutritive, that is, it supplies the nutrition and oxygen to those parts where blood cannot reach. Then is the drainage function, that it drains away excess tissue fluid and metabolites and returns proteins to the blood from the tissue spaces. Then we have its absorption function, that fats from the intestines are absorbed through lymphatics only. Now is the defense, that lymphocytes and monocytes of the lymph function to defend the body. The lymphatics also remove the bacteria from the tissues. Haven't you ever experienced painful swelling in your groins or axils of the arm when you get boil or injury in the limbs? This is a protective sign only. Here also you can see that they remove the body tissue, remove the bacteria from the body tissues, and they localize the infection and prevent it from spreading in the entire body. Now we have the most important lymph organ, that is spleen. This orange part is spleen. Now we have the function of the spleen, that is it acts as a blood reservoir, especially during the hemorrhage that is caused when the blood does not clot properly and there is a huge loss of the blood. This is also due to the deficiency of the K vitamin, and during the carbon monoxide poisoning, physical or emotional stress, then it produces lymphocytes also. And in the embryo, the spleen produces RBCs. It also destroys the worn out RBCs. So here we end with the chapter, and the last part is the tonsil only. This is on the sides of the neck and are also called the lymph glands. In the mouth only you can see. Now in the second diagram you are seeing the inflamed tonsils. So when this happens we have to remove it surgically. No other chance is there for their recovery. So with this our chapter ends, and thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel and do like, share and comment if you like my explanation.